We go next to Los Angeles, California, where Maria's on the line. Maria, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Mr. Coleman. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure. Just call me Ken.
Ken. Okay.
Yeah, there we go. What's going on?
Okay. I'm looking to see what I should be doing as my career. Currently, right now, I work in an office job where basically all day it's data entry. What I love and when I'm thriving is when I'm planning a party and thinking about how I'm going to have that party flow and make sure everyone's having a good time. I've helped plan parties where it's children or adults, and I want to be doing something like that. I just don't know. I think about event planner, but I don't know if that's what I want to do as far as the event planner. I want to be the one that once the event starts, I make sure it flows and everyone's having a good time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's certainly, you're thinking too hard there, because somebody who is working for an event planning company or an event coordinator, that's what you're doing. You're walking around making sure everything is smooth. Are they bringing the hors d'oeuvres out on time? When's the band supposed to be playing? Is the music too loud? What's the flow look like? Oh my gosh, the ladies' restroom over on the east quadrant it looks like fire ants have exploded. That's what you're doing. And you're walking around and you're just making sure everything's working. Here's what's interesting to me. That can be done in so many different places. You could work for an event venue. You could work for an event coordinator, event planning company. You could work for a convention center, which is a little bit different than just a kind of a boutique, venue or something like that. You could get into wedding planning. I mean, you could get into all these things. You could work in the corporate world. You talk about a large company that does a lot of events for their own people. You could be an internal person who coordinates those things. Maybe it's an HR role. Who knows? But it's all around that. So I wanted to quickly hit you with all the different ways you could do that. And because I think you're struggling with doubt, that you're not sure that there's a path into this. Am I right?
Yeah, that would be right, because none of that would be reflected on my resume. So whenever I've done this, it's always been privately. So for me, I'm like, how do I get in the door to even start this?
How many events have you actually coordinated, whether it was for volunteering or friends or whatever?
Oh, over the years, probably more than 10, 15.
Yeah. Well, would those people recommend you?
Oh, absolutely. If I'm having a party, people actually say we wouldn't miss it. We're always going to be there.
Right. So think about all the people you volunteered and done a solid for, plus the people you're talking about that are in your friends and acquaintance circle, that when Marie throws a party, hey, we got to be there. And so think about all those people. They become your starting point to spreading the word. Hey, and do you know anybody that works over here? You're talking to all those people going, hey, do you know anybody who works for this event company? Do you know anybody who works for this venue? And you start leveraging all of your contacts to just simply ask them that question. I've identified 3 event venues, 4 event planning companies that I'd love to work with. And because I don't have a professional event planning resume, I need relationships who will vouch for me. That's how you get interviews, Marie. So all those people you have to draw from, they know tons of people. And so it's kind of the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, which is perfect for you out in LA, right? I give you 2 actors and you find within 6 movies or 6 connections how they're connected to Kevin Bacon. Same deal. So the question is, you ought to be, and I'm not going to put you on the spot right now, but in 48 hours from this moment, you ought to be able to rattle off, or at least pull out a piece of paper or pull out a note on your phone that has 5 to 7 options of places you would love to work at to do this very kind of work. We gotta identify where we want to go first, right? And then we go, okay, what does it take to get there? I don't have a bunch of qualifications, and quite frankly, it's not like you don't need a degree in event planning. You don't need, that's what's great about this. You know what you need? A connection. Because Marie, you got a great personality, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course you do. You got a reputation for putting on a good party, don't you?
Yes, I do.
You got a great amount of confidence in your ability to be detailed and strategic about thinking what all needs to go on for a great experience and for a happy client at the end of said event, don't you?
Yes, absolutely.
Of course you do. So this is all about you just identifying multiple places that you would love to work for because it puts you right in a sweet spot, okay, of using your talent and your passion to be a part of creating memorable events.
Yes. Okay.
How'd that sound when I said that?
No, that sounds exciting, and I hadn't thought about first decide where I want to be.
Yeah. See, it's not so scary. But you just sitting around just thinking about what you want to do, but then you don't do the work of, well, where could I do it? And what is it going to take to get in there? Well, it's about relationships. It's about the proximity principle. I wrote a best-selling book on this called The Proximity Principle. You've probably heard me talk about it. In order for Marie to do what Marie wants to do, which is party planning and event coordinating, event producing, she's got to be around people that are doing event producing and event coordinating.
Right.
And you got to be in places where those events are happening. So in Los Angeles, when's the next, trade show or what webinars are online? Who are the top party planners, event coordinators in the world? Do they have social media accounts? Yeah. You need to be following them on Instagram. You need to become consumed with the industry you want to be in. And when you get consumed with it, you'll see all kinds of opportunities. But the biggest thing is, do you have my book, The Proximity Principle, Marie?
No, I do not.
All right, yes, you do. I'm giving it to you today.
Thank you.
Now listen.
Thank you very much.
Now listen, Marie, this isn't a motivational book.
Okay.
It's not a bunch of gung-ho-isms. I'm literally going to break down the proximity principle for you and give you the ideas of the people you need to be around and the places you need to be in. And it's so simple, but I'm going to lay out 5 people, 5 places in the book, and I give you action items at the end of each chapter. Okay?
Perfect.
So you got to read it, but you got to do it. Okay?
Okay.
And before you know it, Marie, you're going to be killing it, doing exactly what you love. Fun stuff.